Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Lalima Aneja Dang and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs conclave of chief ministers of BJP-ruled states at Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, holds discussion on governance-related best practices. Prime Minister says cities like Banaras have preserved the seeds of our culture, addresses a public rally in Varanasi. Parliament passes Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 and Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021. President Ramnath Kovind to embark on a state visit to Dhaka tomorrow to attend 50th Victory Day celebrations of Bangladesh. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra accompanied by election commissioners to be in Punjab on a 2-day visit from tomorrow. RT-PCR tests are now mandatory for all international travellers coming from at-risk countries. And in badminton, Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and Lakshya Sen win their second round matches at BWF World Championships in Huelva, Spain. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. In this situation, we appeal to all our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And for any COVID-related information and guidance, please contact National Helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a conclave of chief ministers of BJP-ruled states on the second day of his visit to Varanasi today. The chief ministers of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, along with deputy chief ministers from Bihar and Nagaland, took part in the meeting. Our correspondent reports that the chief ministers shared governance-related best practices followed by them in their respective states. The Prime Minister also held an interaction with BJP workers in Varanasi. Later addressing a public rally in Varanasi today, Mr. Modi said cities like Banaras have preserved the seeds of our culture. The Prime Minister said the tree of development acquires its shape from here.
बनारस जैसे शहरों ने मुश्किल से मुश्किल समय में भी भारत की पहचान के, कला के, उद्यमिता के बीजों को सहेज कर रखा है। जहां बीज होता है, वृक्ष वहीं से विस्तार लेना शुरू करता है। और इसलिए आज जब हम बनारस के विकास की बात करते हैं, तो इससे पूरे भारत के विकास का रोड मैप भी बन जाता है।
Participating in the 98th anniversary celebrations of Sadguru Sada Phaldeo Vihangam Yog Sansthan held at the premises of Swarved Mahamandir in Varanasi, the Prime Minister said, in the last few years, Varanasi has embarked on the path of development. Mr. Modi said, Varanasi is also developing as a medical hub. He said, the development in Varanasi is also giving a boost to the tourism sector in the city and adjoining areas.
इस विकास का सकारात्मक असर बनारस के साथ साथ यहां आने वाले पर्यटकों पर भी पड़ रहा है। अगर हम 2019-20 की बात करें तो 2014-15 के मुकाबले में यहां आने वाले पर्यटकों की संख्या डबल हो गई है। 2019-20 में कोरोना के कालखंड में अकेले बाबतपुर एयरपोर्ट से ही 30 लाख से ज्यादा यात्रियों का आना जाना हुआ है। इस बदलाव से काशी ने ये दिखाया है कि इच्छा शक्ति हो तो परिवर्तन आ सकता है।
Recalling the mantra of Swadeshi given by Sadguru Sadapaldev, the Prime Minister said the country is also stressing on the use of local products through the Vocal for Local campaign. He said the world is turning towards organic farming. He said it is the right time that our farmers connect to this campaign. The Prime Minister asked people to make some resolutions on cleanliness and water conservation. Mr. Modi appealed to citizens to educate their girl child and help them in their skill development. He also greeted people on Gita Jayanti. The Prime Minister inaugurated Baba Vishwanath Dham on the first day of the visit to Varanasi yesterday. Here's more from our correspondent.
During his two-day visit to Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in various functions. The Prime Minister inaugurated the Kashi Vishwanath Dham yesterday in a grand ceremony held at the premises of Kashi Vishwanath Temple. The Prime Minister attended Ganga Aarti in the evening and late in the night till around 2 o'clock he inspected development works going on in his constituency. The Prime Minister along with the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh visited Banaras railway station and reviewed the ongoing development works there. The Prime Minister also visited the Kashi Vishwanath Dham in the night and interacted with the people of Banaras. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Varanasi.
The Supreme Court today allowed the centre to widen roads that are part of the 899-kilometre Char Dham project in Uttarakhand. A bench comprising Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice Suryakant and Justice Vikram Nath pronounced orders in the application filed by the Ministry of Defence seeking modification of the order dated 8th of September 2020, which was passed by a three-judge bench headed by Justice Rohinton Nariman in order to permit the Union of India to make roads with 10 metres tarred surface as opposed to the 5.5 metres as ordered by the court. The Parliament has passed the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021, with the Rajya Sabha approving it today. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The bill will replace the ordinance promulgated in this regard. The bill seeks to amend the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Under the Act, the minimum tenure of Director of Central Bureau of Investigation is of 2 years. The bill permits extension of the tenure of the CBI Director up to 1 year at a time till the completion of 5 years from the initial date of appointment. Such extensions may be granted in public interest on the recommendation of the committee. The Parliament has also passed the Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021, with the Rajya Sabha approving it today. The bill will replace the ordinance promulgated in this regard. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The bill seeks to amend the Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003. The Act provides for the constitution of a Central Vigilance Commission to conduct inquiries into offences alleged to have been committed under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Presently, the Director of Enforcement has a tenure of minimum 2 years. The bill adds that the tenure of the Director may be extended up to 1 year at a time, till the completion of 5 years from the initial appointment. President Ramnath Kovind will leave for Dhaka tomorrow morning to attend the 50th Victory Day celebrations of Bangladesh. In a special briefing, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla today informed media persons the President will hold a delegation-level meeting in Dhaka with the President of Bangladesh, Mohammad Abdul Hamid, to discuss various issues of mutual interest of both the countries. Mr. Shringla informed that Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, will call on the President during the visit. Foreign Minister of the neighbouring country, A.K. Abdul Momen, will also call on the President. The President will attend the Victory Day celebration on 16th of December. The Foreign Secretary informed that the President will be the guest of honour in Parliament of Bangladesh in concluding celebration of birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. More from our correspondent.
India and Bangladesh enjoy a strong relationship based on historical and cultural ties, mutual trust and cooperation. Both countries celebrate 16th December as Victory Day to mark the victory of joint forces over Pakistan to liberate Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a major pillar of India's neighbourhood first policy, and the visit of the President on this historical occasion is a reflection of the high priority of both countries for each other. The first visit of Mr. Kovind to Bangladesh at invitation of its President is highly significant as both countries are also celebrating 50 years of establishment of their diplomatic ties. The visit also reaffirms the shared desire of both countries to further strengthen their relationship. Sanjeev Kumar Singh for AIR News.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India's victory in the Indo-Pakistan War in 1971 proved to be the most important victory in world history. He said Pakistan had lost 1/3 of its army, half of its navy and 1/4 of its air force in this war. Mr. Singh today interacted with Indian war veterans and Mukti Jodhas of Bangladesh in New Delhi as part of Swarnim Vijay Varsh celebrations marking 50 years of India's historic victory in the 1971 war. He paid tribute to the brave soldiers, sailors and air warriors who ensured the victory in 1971 war by making supreme sacrifice. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today handed over 5 Defence Research and Development Organizations developed products to the armed forces and other security agencies. He also handed over 6 transfer of technology agreements to 7 public and private sector companies. Products were handed over in an event held at DRDO Bhavan in New Delhi as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, an iconic week of Ministry of Defence. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Singh said it is an effort to jointly enhance our capabilities to face the challenges posed by our adversaries. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, accompanied by election commissioners and other senior officers of the Election Commission of India, will be in Punjab on a 2-day visit from tomorrow. The Commission will take stock of preparedness for the State Assembly elections due in early 2022. Giving this information, Chief Electoral Officer of Punjab, Dr. S. Karuna Raju, said that tomorrow the Commission will hold meetings with representatives of national and state-level recognized parties, Chief Electoral Officer and nodal officers of state police and central armed police forces. Later during the day, the Commission will also meet various enforcement agencies.
Honorable Election Commission of India Full Commission's visit is slated in Punjab on 15th and 16th December this month. Honorable Commission is coming to review the preparedness of the elections for the Assembly Elections 2022. And Honorable Commission will take a review meeting of all Deputy Commissioners, SSPs, IGs, Commissioner of Police and all officials who are involved in elections, including agencies who are involved in expenditure monitoring. There are agencies which coordinate force movement.
The next day, the Commission will hold interaction with a section of voters with disabilities and young voters.
Over 133 crore 90 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. India's active caseload currently stands at 88,993, which is the lowest in 563 days. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases. The recovery rate currently stands at 98.37%. In the last 24 hours, 5,784 new cases were reported and a total of 7,995 recoveries were recorded. The Airport Authority of India, AAI, has said that all international travellers coming from at-risk countries will now have to compulsorily book RT-PCR test. It said tests will be conducted as per the guidelines of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The AAI further said this arrangement will start from 20th of this month at 6 airports of Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru and Hyderabad. Air Suvidha portal would be modified to all the passengers to mandatorily pre-book the RT-PCR test if they are coming from the countries at risk or have visited at-risk countries in the last 4 days. The AAI has said link to the concerned airport website would be provided in Air Suvidha platform would be displayed to passengers while filing the self-declaration form. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alert.
Do you want to fly high, to reach out to the skies? Do you feel proud to wear the uniform? Then join the Indian Air Force.
Applications open from 1st December 2021. To apply, online login to careerindianairforce.cdac.in.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by the Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
And now a review of proceedings in Parliament today. First from Rajya Sabha, the writer is Sanjeev Chopra of PTI. The highlights include the continued disruptions by the opposition members demanding the revocation of the suspension of 12 MPs in Upper House clearing 2 legislative bills today. When the Rajya Sabha met for the day, the opposition MPs created uproar in the House right from the start of the day's proceedings, but Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu continued with the zero hour amid the din caused by continued sloganeering. The question hour, however, could not be taken up as Chairman Naidu adjourned the House till 2 p.m. just as he announced the end of the zero hour. Soon after the House met, members of opposition parties trooped into the well and started raising slogans. Chairman Naidu, however, continued with the zero hour and the protests continued for almost an hour. The chair did not permit members who were in the well of the House to raise zero-hour mentions. While most of the opposition parties were protesting, TMC member Sukhendu Sekhar Ray made his zero-hour mention. The chairman made several attempts to pacify the protesting members and urged them to return to their respective seats. However, the opposition continued their sloganeering and protests, leading to adjournment of the proceedings at around 12 noon. At one point of time, the chairman cautioned AAP member Sanjay Singh that he is compounding the offence. Just before adjourning the proceedings, the chair instructed the officials to send Mr. Singh out from the House, saying he is challenging the chair. As the protests grew louder by the end of the zero hour, the leader of the opposition, LOP, Mallikarjun Kharge, tried to make his point, but the chairman said, till everybody goes to their seats and sits peacefully, only then LOP will be called. Mr. Naidu said he was informed that the government was willing to consider the opposition case if the suspended MPs express regret on their conduct. At the same time, Mr. Naidu also praised MPs who spoke on various issues. During the zero hour, BJP MP Sushil Modi demanded the setting up of an independent regulatory body for big tech giants like Facebook and Google to ensure that they share advertisement revenue adequately with traditional media houses for using their content for content moderation activities and to check hate speeches and fake news. The BJP member also cited the recent hacking of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Twitter account and claimed that a cryptocurrency lobby group was behind the incident. Today, the upper house also passed two bills, the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021 for extension of the tenures of Director of CBI and that of the Enforcement Directorate. When the House met after lunch, Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge sought to raise the issue of suspensions but was not allowed by the Deputy Chairman Harivansh. Opposition members then staged a walkout in protest, alleging that they were not allowed to raise the issue of suspension of MPs in the House. The bill to extend the tenure of the Director of the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, to a maximum of 5 years from the present 2 years was passed after several members participated in the discussion. The Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 has already been passed by the Lok Sabha on 9th of December 2021. While moving the bill, Minister of State for Personnel Jitendra Singh said the government is working to check corruption and to ensure an enhanced transparency. These amendments have been brought in also because the Financial Action Task Force, which India is a member country, also expects us to improve the resources for financial crime investigation and the international crime, he said. He said contrary to the popular impression that has gone to certain quarters, the amendment does not seek to increase the tenure, rather it seeks to put an embargo on the tenure of 5 years. Minister of State of Parliamentary Affairs V. Muralidharan's proposal for a joint debate on the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021 was turned down by the opposition members. The government had last month issued 2 ordinances extending the tenures of the Chief of the CBI and ED and has brought bills to replace them. Initiating the debate, D.P. Vats of BJP praised the government's performance in tackling corruption and said India's world ranking has also improved in this regard. Participating in the discussion on the bill, BJP member GVL Narasimha Rao said the bill to extend tenure of CBI and ED directors ensure both institutions will work more efficiently. He said 3.38 lakh companies were found to be shell companies, which were shut down by the Enforcement Directorate. Rao said that in the Enforcement Directorate in the last 7 years, 888 prosecution complaints were filed under PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
He said properties worth 89,547 crore rupees were attached under PMLA cases and 50,945 crore rupees have already been confirmed by the adjudicating authorities. Republican Party of India leader and Minister of State for Social Justice and Empowerment, Ramdas Athawale, spoke in favour of the bill. Mr. Athawale said corruption should end, black money should end and more money should come into the national treasury. Sushil Kumar Modi of BJP said the government has taken a number of initiatives over the past years in its relentless fight against corruption. Suresh Prabhu of the BJP said the tenure should be long enough to discharge duty efficiently. Yuvajana Shramika Raitu Congress Party YSRCP MP Subhash Chandra Bose Pilli, TDP member Kanaka Medala Ravindra Kumar, AIADMK member M. Tambidurai and BJP MP Rakesh Sinha also participated in the debate. Amar Patnaik of BJD, M. Tambidurai of AIADMK and Ramnath Thakur of JDU also spoke on the bill. Replying to the discussion, Dr. Jitendra Singh said the change of the head of the agency in the middle of an important case, others may not be able to carry it forward in the same tone. He said the amendments are in the interest of national security and for the stability of the financial structure. Dr. Jitendra Singh said Enforcement Director has a very crucial role even in money laundering cases and is possibly the only agency of its kind available in India. But for India, most of the other countries have a much longer term. And here also the term is not being made indefinite. Questioning the motives of the opposition for not participating in the discussion on the bill, Minister said, incidentally but not insignificantly, most of the laundering cases being investigated by this agency belong to those 10 years tenure of UPA 1 and UPA 2 and involve some of the high and mighty of those times. He said, to that extent, I can say it is a sad day in the history of Parliament that a principal opposition party has chosen not to side with those who are working against the black money, but side with those who are the beneficiaries of black money. After passing of the bills, the Rajya Sabha adjourned for the day.
And now, review of proceedings in Lok Sabha. The writer is Kumar Rakesh of PTI. Today, the Parliament completed the scheduled legislative business smoothly. However, while the issue of suspension of 12 opposition members continued to create obstacles in the smooth run of the Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha completed all the sessions without any interruption. Let's see what happened in the Lok Sabha today. The lower house in Parliament met in the morning to conduct question hour and the 0 hour smoothly. The Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla tried to discipline the House when the ministers were entertaining some of the members from their seats in the House. Union Minister Giriraj Singh was seen interacting with a member who had come to his seat to discuss some issue after the question hour was over. Intervening, Speaker Om Birla expressed his displeasure, asking them not to run their offices from the House. He advised the members and ministers not to hold their offices from the House. He suggested ministers should ask the members to meet them in office. He asked the members to maintain the decorum of the House. Members of various political parties often go to the seats of different ministers to discuss certain issues related to their ministries, even when the House proceedings are on. Mr. Birla also chided Union Minister Kailash Chaudhary for continuing with his reply to a question even after the question hour was announced over. During the 0 hour, many members from various political parties expressed concerns over the rising number of Omicron variant of COVID-19 cases in the country. Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said India has already reported 41 cases of Omicron variant in the government. Citing the European Union nations example, Mr. Chaudhary asked about the government plans for vaccination of children and adolescents. Trinamool Congress member Saugata Roy wanted the government to start administering booster doses immediately. He accused, due to some differences within the expert committee, booster dose is not being given. During the 0 hour, the members raised other issues as well. Lakshadweep member Faisal P.P. Mohammed highlighted the plight of students and patients from the archipelago due to the non-availability of adequate passenger ships. He claimed that it was causing hardships to patients and students who had to travel to the mainland for their needs. Shiv Sena member Arvind Sawant demanded their naming of Mumbai Central Railway Station after Nana Shankar Sheth, the pioneer of railways in the country.
NCP member Supriya Sule demanded that the government assist people provided with cochlear implants in case of wear and tear. Cochlear implant is a very expensive machine, but after the cochlear implant, there is a lot of wear and tear and the cost of repairing regularly is 85,000 rupees, Sule said. She urged the government to provide one cochlear implant along with support to children until the age of 18 or 21 to account for the wear and tear of the device. DMK member DNV Sindhil Kumar demanded that the government reduce the prices of petrol and diesel and increase the margins for retail outlet dealers. Shiv Sena member Pratap Jadhav said farmers of Maharashtra were getting a better price for their soybean crop this year and decried the demand by poultry farm owners for importing the farm commodity. Jadhav wanted the government to put on hold any plans to import soybean till the crops of domestic farmers are procured. BJP member CP Joshi demanded that the government issue a postal stamp on Lord Parshuram. BJP member Rajiv Pratap Rudy highlighted the backward status of Bihar and wanted the government to spell out policies to increase investments in sectors ranging from education, sports and infrastructure. In the post-lunch session, the Lok Sabha took up discussion on supplementary demands for grants second batch for 2021-22 today, during which BJP members lauded the government's effort to boost economy, combat COVID-19 and generate employment. However, initiating the discussion on the supplementary demands for grants, Congress member Shashi Tharoor said the COVID-19 pandemic combined with the government's alleged short-sighted policy decisions ushered in a period of uncertainty for the economic revival of India. Mr. Tharoor charged that the nation's economy continues to battle the significant forces of disruption that were set in motion by the COVID-19 pandemic and which can trace their way back to the disaster of demonetization in 2016. BJP member Nishikant Dubey said COVID has hit the global economy, but the way India handled the crisis is unparalleled. BJP member Aparajita Sarangi noted that the GDP grew at a strong 8.4% and said the government has ushered in hope, vigor and confidence. She also highlighted the record procurement of grains and cited government measures for help the farmers. BSP's Ritesh Pandey hit out at the government for its handling of economy. He said, while unemployment is growing, the government helping only a few industrialists. M.K. Vishnu Prasad of the Congress criticized the government for its disinvestment policies. Jaydev Galla of TDP noted that by seeking 2.9 lakh crore rupees, the finance minister has come up with one of the largest, if not the largest, supplementary demands for grants. That's all in Parliament Review.
Well, sports news now. Badminton. Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and Lakshya Sen won their second-round matches at the BWF World Championships in Huelva, Spain this evening. Sindhu beat Martina Repizka of Slovak 21-7, 21-9 in women's singles, while in men's singles, Srikanth upset Li Shifeng of China 15-21, 21-18, 21-17, and Sen defeated Kenta Nishimoto of Japan 22-20, 15-21, 21-18. Men's hockey defending champions and Olympic bronze medalists India were held to a 2-2 draw by a fighting South Korea in their opening match of the Asian Champions Trophy tournament in Dhaka this evening. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs conclave of chief ministers of BJP-ruled states at Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, holds discussion on governance-related best practices. Prime Minister says cities like Banaras have preserved the seeds of our culture, addresses a public rally in Varanasi. Parliament passes Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Bill 2021 and Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Bill 2021. President Ramnath Kovind to embark on a state visit to Dhaka tomorrow to attend 50th Victory Day celebrations of Bangladesh. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra accompanied by election commissioners to be in Punjab on a 2-day visit from tomorrow. RT-PCR tests now mandatory for all international travellers coming from at-risk countries. And in badminton, Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and Lakshya Sen win their second-round matches at BWF World Championships in Huelva, Spain. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.
The Navy gives me adventure in every venture.
The Navy gives me the chance to discover capabilities I never knew I had.
The Navy gives me a package complete with the country's respect and recognition.
The Navy gives you more. Indian Navy, an ocean of opportunities. www.joinindiannavy.gov.in